Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Taurus, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Taurus, I have to apologize for the sound of my voice, which is already very low, I realize. I'm just feeling a little under the weather. Not so under the weather that I can't do your reading, but I think the seasons changing is wreaking a little bit of havoc on my voice and my sinuses, so please bear with me. I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The overall energy will come from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and at the end I will read from the book. And for your tarot portion of your reading, the Mystic Mondays Tarot. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel, Spirits, Guides, what messages do you have, please, for Taurus? You got number 5, which corresponds to the Hierophant in the Major Arcana, Taurus energy. Taurus, right from the onset, you showed up in your own reading. But the card is the Orphan. So the hand being held up like this, you know, very famous orphan story, I believe, is called Oliver Twist. And at least in the, I never read the book, but at least in the kind of movie version, he's reaching out for food and he says, you know, please, sir. Either he says, please, sir, may I have some more? Please, sir, I want some more. It's this sense of sustenance, needing sustenance. This pink flower over here feels like life-giving energy. Maybe there's something having to do maybe in the creative realm for you. I associate flowers with the sacral chakra and the creative realm, the place of inspiration. It's almost like you're asking Spirit, please, you know, have you left me behind? Have you forgotten me? I mean, it feels that dire, honestly. And this doesn't have to be a feeling that you sit with always, I hope not, but it could be a feeling that you're sitting with right now, that perhaps there's a circumstance that you don't understand. Because even, I don't know if you can tell, but even within the image, there's this kind of shape here. It's almost like there's this vellum or this veil over the hand that is preventing a receiving or reception, a grabbing hold of. There's something here that eludes. Could be really throwing you off your game, is what I just heard. That this could be a time of karmic balance. You feel as though you're paying your dues, and you're kind of wondering, when is it going to be over? The Hierophant card in the tarot corresponds to this character, also known as the Pope of the Tarot, that serves as a conduit between the material world and the spiritual world. It can also represent structure, rules, standards, policies, codes of conduct. So I see this kind of Ouroboros. It's not quite an Ouroboros because the snake is not it's not eating itself, but the snake around, it's kind of creating this border. So things are wound very tightly. confined spaces, confined action, and this reaching out. I'm now seeing the Three of Pentacles card in the tarot in my mind's eye, wanting to work with spirit. Maybe you've been manifesting and wondering, where is your manifestation? Have you been forgotten? I want to preempt everything by saying no, but we shall see with the cards. 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and at the end I'll pull a card of advice from spirit. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Actually a Taurus, Venus. 2 more cards, please, for Taurus. Okay, so strangely, no major arcana came out in the reading yet. When I start to pull clarifiers, we might have it. So whatever this situation is describing, it's very rooted in the material world. Which is not to say that spirit doesn't have a hand in it, because they always do. But I feel as though this is kind of showing me that a lot of what is happening or not happening right now is actually hinging on your decision making, as opposed to some kind of destined or fated happenstance. We start in the past energy with the 7 of Cups in reverse. 7 of Cups, often referred to as the card of one being spoiled for choice. There's so many selections. Which do we choose? How do we know what's right? Are we going to feel some FOMO because we pick one thing, but we really should have picked another? I have a friend that is chronically guilty of this. Whenever we go out to a restaurant, she'll order something and then immediately she has regrets. Right? And so that's kind of this energy. You did get the card in reverse though. So in the past energy, I do feel as though you did come to some kind of decision, but with the Princess of Wands in the reverse, for some reason it didn't launch. It didn't take off. It wasn't able to come to fruition. There was some stall or roadblock to a new beginning. Pages or princesses in this deck. Talk about beginner's mind. First steps into something, learning something new. Kind of putting our foot out there and taking a step forward. And when the card is in reverse, it's like failure to launch. Spirit just said failure to launch. I don't know, that they know that that's, I mean, it's an expression, but, and it has probably some double entendres to it, but I feel as though something didn't get off the ground. Could have been a business idea, a book. I feel as though it's creative, whatever this is. Not that a business idea can't be creative, it absolutely can be. But maybe the timing wasn't right. You didn't have enough resources. You needed to think through some steps a little bit more. Can you clarify, please, why is the Princess of Wands in reverse? Why is the Princess of Wands in reverse? 8 of Swords in reverse. 8 of Swords. Swords energy is air element. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Really up in the head. Thinking way too much. Thank you, Spirit. Really anxious. Got this card in reverse. In the past energy, you freed yourself from that overthinking. but I almost wanted to say that that was it. It was almost like maybe you waited too long. Maybe you put it off, you procrastinated, and you're just like, I gotta think about it a little bit more. I gotta think about it. I gotta think it through. I gotta ask a million people what their advice is. And then by the time you came to a decision, because I do see a decision was made, I do see that you freed yourself from that analysis paralysis. It could have been, you know, the window of opportunity could have passed you by. I'm feeling that very strongly. It's not to say that it won't come by again, but it might look a little different next time. It's good that you're clear about what it is that you want. Seven of Cups in reverse. That's a good jumping off point, and don't take that for granted. It's really difficult for us to sometimes make choices, especially when the stakes are high. And you should be proud of that, you know, that you came to a conclusion about something. I'm gonna take one more card. Tell me what it is that they decided on, Spirit. Thank you. King of Cups could have been love. Yeah, I could see where, you know, or something that you love. King of Cups is Scorpio energy, and it's water signs, water element, the love quotient, emotions, compassion, things that we feel an affinity to, things that speak to the heart chakra. By the time we reach the King of Cups, the kings really sit very firmly at the top of their suit, very sure of their commitment. So it's kind of telling me that you made a very strong commitment to something, even if it's something that you only expressed to yourself, because sometimes the King of Cups can be very insular. Like, he doesn't have to describe a man, but it's divine masculine energy. They don't always have to express it outwardly, but they know what they feel. They have ready access to it. Spirit just said ready access. Could be a person, but I feel like this is you. I feel like this is your energy. It's kind of inhabiting, like being in this space where you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna work on that great novel, or yeah, I'm gonna start that business, or yeah, you know, I am gonna take that trip around the world that I've always just been talking about. I'm actually gonna do it this time. Right? But then something was difficult to get started. And that could have been tremendously frustrating. Tremendously frustrating. In the present energy, the Two of Swords in the reverse. Two of Swords is also a card in the upright. It's a card of confusion, right? See these two hooks here, they're kind of hooked into each other. They're not going anywhere, kind of stuck. I see the movie Edward Scissorhands with Johnny Depp. I see, like, literally with his scissor hands. And you know, what was difficult about Edward Scissorhands was that no one wanted to approach him. It's kind of like when I wait too long to clip my cat's nails, right? It's like, I love them, I want to smush them, but the minute they put their paw on my face, it's like game over, right? So there's something here about, you know, maybe in the beginning when there was confusion, something was unapproachable. Couldn't even think about it. We couldn't even consider. But now that the card is in reverse, the hooks are unlocked. We see clearly. We see a little bit more clearly. This card in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Okay, Spirit wants me to show it to you. depicts somebody that is, so hold on, I'm just gonna find the card here. It depicts somebody that's blindfolded, right? That we're so caught in our own thoughts and feelings and up in our head about things that we actually fail to see clearly. And Spirit wants me to show you the card. Give me one moment. Here. This is the same card as this, right? But we always want to take into consideration the deck that we're using. I saw it as two kind of hooks intertwined, and that gave me the image of Edward Scissorhands. Your name could be Edward. You could resonate with that name. You could resonate with that movie. And I wouldn't have gotten there necessarily with this image, right? So yeah, that message is for somebody. We can see here the blindfold, right? Not able to see clearly, but I do think in the present moment you see very clearly. But you could have made your decision about love, about life, and there might be people who disagree with what it is that you are considering. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is, you know, by and large, it can be a really progressive card because it talks about having gained a victory, but then it talks about having to defend that victory. So even back here when I said, you know, you should be really proud of yourself that you came to a decision on a topic, but it's almost like now you feel like you have to defend your choice. Very clear, you can see with clear eyes now, all the parts and all the players, but it's almost like people are coming at you and you have to kind of block that energy. Now, if this has to do with a romantic interest and people are not approving of your romantic interest, you gotta take things with a grain of salt, right? If the people that you love and trust most in the world, that have always had your back, that are always looking out for you, your ride or die friends, who want the best for you and you know they want the best for you. If these people start to object or call into question a decision that you're making, one that might be really frustrating because obviously we want the people in our lives to approve, right? We don't need everybody's approval, but people we trust, we would like to have their blessing and their approval. But it might be wise to just listen to what they have to say. Ultimately, it's your life. You have to live it. But I always want to keep in mind when the people that I love and that I trust and that have always been there for me are advising me against something. I have to at least take it into consideration. And I'm feeling that energy right now. You may be defensive, but Spirit is advising this. I'm channeling this for you. Like, just listen to what they have to say. You don't have to agree, but just let it sit, right? And then, you know, because there could be this fear of like, oh, if I let it sit, then it's going to undermine, you know, my vision for myself. And that could be true. But I'm of this philosophy, and it is a philosophy, it's called deconstruction, but I subscribe to this philosophy that if we question the very core of our beliefs, and at the end, after all of that rigorous work, that questioning, we still end up with the same belief, then we know it's the right one for us. But if we do the questioning work and we realize, you know, that wasn't for me, and we can be glad that we kind of dodged a bullet or we stepped away from something that was not in our best interests. So just take it as it resonates. I'm gonna ask for a clarifier. Why the blocking? What are we blocking? You see this? You see this card that wanted to jump out here but didn't quite make it? It's the Devil card. Didn't quite make it. Didn't come out. Another card came out, but I did want to point that out to you because it flipped over in the deck real quick and I saw it and I was like, oh, I see you. Yeah. Two of Wands in reverse. That's 2 2s. What is it that we're blocking? I mean, this sense that people want to stand in our way, because the 2 of Wands is a card of directionality. Like, which direction do we move into? When it's in the reverse, it's like we've made our decision, right? Twice now you've made your decision. Twice now. I see it here, and you having to defend it. It's a big deal, whatever it is. In the future potential doesn't mean it's set in stone, it's just a potential based on what's going on. In the reading, 4 of Pentacles. This is in a way another kind of blocking, because it represents, I mean, let's think about it in terms of finances just for a second. Pentacles doesn't always represent finances, but it can. The 4 of Pentacles is a card where we hold on really tightly to our finances, kind of stingy, kind of miserly. We put everything in its tidy box and then put the lid on it. You can't touch it. It's mine. So in a way, this is also a card that I perceive as a kind of siphoning off or blocking off or keeping contained away from others. But it's clarified by the 8 of Cups. This is the card of walking away, moving away into something that is perhaps unknown. But you feel intuitively that it's the right move. I mean, I'm getting a very specific scenario in my head, and it's just an example, but this is kind of like a classic story of somebody leaving home, leaving a small town for the big city, which is nothing against small towns. I mean, it's funny how people that live in the big city usually move to small towns in their later years, right? So, but I'm seeing that scenario in my head. Mom and Dad, I'm not going to take it here anymore. I'm moving to the big city. I'm gonna get out of this place. I'm gonna make it on my own. And I don't care what you think about this decision. I don't care what you think about this decision. It's my decision. I've saved up for it. And I'm gonna go and find my destiny out there. It could be, there's this reason, it's like maybe you orphaned yourself. It's just an example, but it's like that scenario. If it's not a physical moving away from a scenario, it's a emotional moving away. Can I get a clarifier for the 8 of Cups? Yeah, see, Justice. Number 11 of the Major Arcana, Libra energy, karmic balance, karmic justice. Could have to deal with legal proceedings or contracts as well. Moving into something that is karmically, cosmically right for you. This is, it feels uphill. I see Spirit's showing me the salmon swimming upstream. This is not easy. Breaking away from tradition, from people, soul tribe, like it's not easy. But I feel like you're standing really firm on this. What's Spirit's advice? Spirit's advice. Damn. Number 4 of the Major Arcana right here at the end, 2 major arcana cards came right out. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. God, that gave me like a chill. Wow. The Emperor, the power of all 4 kings of the tarot, the ultimate divine masculine, Aries energy. Spirit's advice, you're leveling up. I don't know what this is about. Spirit's advice is keep going. Like even this energy right here looks like arrows kind of pointing up. Destined for greatness. Keep it moving. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. That took a turn. Number 5 from the book. The orphan. The wounded child, the abandoned, the beggar. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in the presence of the feelings this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. That's your reading, Taurus. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Taurus.